Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out. This is our first speaker series in the Sandbox. We'd like to do a whole lot more of these in the future, but this is the first one. So this is University Innovation in Rwanda. And the team over here is going to introduce themselves in just a second. But for anyone who hasn't been to the Sandbox before, we're the Research and Development Lab for the university. The space is open for faculty and staff anytime they want to come in and use it. We work with Paul's team to help with new initiatives at the university, but it's also for staff and faculty to just work on their own ideas too. So if at any point you ever want to come in here and work on your own stuff with your teams, just email us, sandbox@snhu.edu, and we'll find you a spot in here and help you work out your needs. Without further ado, I'll introduce the team over here. You guys want to start?
Hi, I'm Carolyn Tarr, and I am the Director of Academic Programs at Kepler.
I'm Steve Brown. I work at College for America, supporting our partners like Kepler. I see Magic Wands is somewhere around here, there they are, and other community-based organizations.
Hi, I'm Milewski. I'm the Director of Curriculum at Kepler.
Hi, I'm Nina Weaver. I'm the Director of Refugee Education Programs at Southern New Hampshire University, and I'm currently based in Rwanda with Kepler.
Hello, my name is Tujiza. I am a Southern New Hampshire alumni, but also working with Kepler as an academic programs associate and also a post facilitator.
I get to kick it off with a quick kind of high-level overview of what College for America is, for those of you who aren't familiar with it. So those of you who are, you can correct me when I get things wrong. So College for America is a division of Southern New Hampshire University. Everyone probably knows that. And so we launched 3 years ago, October 1st, 2013. We went live to the public, so this is basically our third birthday. And joining us on that very launch day were both Kepler and Match Beyond, our community partners. So they came in right at the beginning. We've been working with them since the start. It's been a fabulous relationship and continuing to get better and better. Our mission at College for America is really to, it says here, expand access to higher education. And the goal was to really think about underserved populations. So that can be working adults who have a hard time getting to courses on a campus, or to kind of dealing with the traditional online model of logging in at specific times and engaging in chats or other types of things. So we wanted to figure out a way that is a program that's more flexible, radically more affordable, so we're only $3,000 a year right now, and also highly relevant to the workplace. So those are the three goals. We've done that. One too far. By kind of getting rid of a few key things. So we don't have traditional classes and lectures. Instead, we are project-based. So students complete a variety of projects that allow them to demonstrate competency in a set of skills and knowledge areas. Projects can range from design thinking challenges around getting rid of packaging on work. It can include analyzing the cost benefits of using a particular product or service in the workplace and making a presentation to an employer, to a whole variety of other things. And the student is able to work at their own pace and define their own schedule. So the student doesn't have to start a project at a particular time and end at a particular time. Rather, they choose when to start and they choose when they're hoping to finish, and they have flexibility to change that as they go. And so a student who knows something, so if the student already had expertise in design thinking, they might move through that packaging project really quickly, but another student who really doesn't know what a cost-benefit analysis is and really has no knowledge at all might move more slowly. If they can master the competencies quickly, that's great. If they need more time, that's okay too. It's based on their own personal needs and background experience. Our curriculum is developed in alignment with current employer needs, so we've worked closely with employers to really understand what skills and knowledge areas are necessary in the workplace and what and what they're looking for in employees so that they can succeed in the workplace. And we have an excellent, incredible team of curriculum developers here. I think Heidi Wilkes is here. Here she is.
Hi.
And at some point, if you really want to understand how the magic is made, she can give you an incredibly detailed and impressive kind of explanation of the thinking that goes into this and the work that their teams are making. So find Heidi later.
Thank you.
There are three basic areas, I think of them, and this is kind of my language a little bit, but we think of the curriculum as divided into three basic areas: foundational skills, which cut across all sorts of areas, and in communication, and critical thinking, quantitative and numeracy, those types of things, digital fluency, kind of the soft skills, the personal and social skills, so things like ethics, thinking how do we think ethically in the workplace or in the world, how do we collaborate and work on teams, and then how do we manage ourselves in all sorts of situations. And then finally, the content knowledge, where we have our specific specialization. So we have a bachelor's degree in healthcare management. So what are the specific content knowledge things, what are the specific set of skills that are going to be needed in that area? And that is built on the foundation of more general liberal arts content and skill sets. So we think of those three basic areas, and the entire curriculum is built with those in mind, and it's very interrelated and interdependent. There's, you're working on all these things simultaneously, essentially, as you're working through all the projects. We also build a really, what we think is a robust and holistic support system around the student. So at the core of it, the learning is the project reviewers. We've got Julianne over here, Julianne Edwards, and her team are the reviewing team. And these reviewers are subject matter experts. They're professional higher educators, so they're all professors or adjunct professors or lecturers at different places. And they are working to provide incredibly detailed narrative feedback to the students on the work that they submit. And it's a binary system, so it's rather there's a very clear rubric, set of standards that the student needs to achieve, and either the student has mastered the rubric criteria or they have not yet. And to proceed and master the entire project, all of the rubric criteria need to be mastered. But the key, I think, is in the relationship between reviewer and student. So once the student gets the feedback, they're able to ask questions back. They're able to engage in a small dialogue with the reviewer to clarify, and as they continue to revise and work towards mastery of the project. We also have all sorts of other things. So we have employer or community partners providing all sorts of feedback and support. We have online peers, and we have the learning coach, which is really where Kepler and Mastery On, but Kepler today really shine because they're providing all sorts of supplemental support. So they're providing things like understanding when the student is ready to engage in College for America, whether it's do they have the necessary skill sets right now to do it, is their English language up to par, are they ready to go with that? Do they have the time and the schedule built into their lives that it's now appropriate for them to do this? And then they're helping them deal with feedback. They're helping them they're doing some academic coaching. Kepler is doing some incredible work around supplementing our curriculum. You can imagine a student in Rwanda might not understand the healthcare system in the United States. I barely understand the healthcare system in the United States. So contextualizing that, helping them understand the cultural differences, all sorts of great work. And then connecting them with internships and employers, and taking what they're learning in College for America and thinking about, well, what does that mean in our context in Rwanda? And how do we apply it here? And how do we improve things here in our lives for our communities? So what Kepler is doing is pretty amazing. So as you can see, they've supported about 280 College for America students since November 2013. 2/3 have earned at least their AA. And as you can see this, you've got, I think 90%, 95% of them have stayed enrolled or completed the program. And they're now working on 2 campuses. One in Kigali, that's their main campus, and then They have opened a new campus in Kiziba, which is a refugee. And their partnership, the collaboration we're starting to really work on, and the communication between us, we're learning a lot from them about how to support students, where they're helping us iterate our work and really understand what it means to be a student for College for America. And we're really looking forward to continuing to learn and also to see this grow in all sorts of great ways. So I want to turn it over to their team so they can explain how they're getting these incredible results and what they're hoping to do as they move forward.
Thanks so much, Steve. So I get the lucky privilege of starting off the conversation about Kepler. But luckily, we have an alumni here who is both a Southern New Hampshire alumni and a Kepler alumni who can really tell this story a lot better from her experience of being in the program. So for those of you who need a little update on the geography, we are in this teeny tiny country of Rwanda, which is nestled snugly between a number of larger countries in East Africa. We have two campuses, as Steve mentioned. One is really centrally located in Kigali. That was our first campus that we opened in 2013. And we did open a second campus here on the border of Lake Kivu in Kiziba Refugee Camp. So I want to give you some just general highlights of our program. It would be very easy for me to stand up here and speak for the full hour about all of the amazing things that I believe Kepler is and all of the wonderful lessons, both challenging and exciting, that we've learned over the course of our time. But I just want to give a very high-level overview. So we launched in 2013 with 50 students, 25 males and 25 females, one of whom was Tujiza. And we were launched with the idea that we were going to be an experiment in education, that we wanted to launch a blended learning university program that could leverage the best of online learning and that could also take what we knew of the K-12 sector and best practices at putting the student first. So we launched with the idea in mind that we are going to learn a lot of tough lessons, such as electricity often doesn't work, tin roof, unlike our wonderful Sandbox space here, makes it really, really difficult to teach because students can't hear anything. And the internet, believe it or not, in Rwanda is sometimes unreliable. Now we are on our fourth cohort of students. We have seen 420 students on our Kigali campus, and always with a 50-50 quota of male to female. We also launched our second campus in Kiziba Refugee Camp, which Nina Weaver will speak to, at the beginning of the academic year of 2015. We had 25 students in our first cohort and 25 students in our second cohort. And since that time, we have graduated. The nice thing about CFA data is it can change every single day. So as of, I believe, last Wednesday, we had graduated 24 students with their bachelor's degrees and 184 students with their Associate of Arts degrees. I'm going to turn it over to our Director of Curriculum, Lauren, to come and give an overview of curriculum. Is this me? Oh, this can be. Sorry, not yet. False alarm. So our employment data, this I think is a big part of the Kepler program, it's really important for the students to get a solid grounding in curriculum coming from College for America and Southern New Hampshire University. But on our end, it's also really important to connect students to jobs. With tertiary education, a big piece of data that we want to see highlighted is that our students don't just get the education, but they're able to really enter the workforce ready to go. So we are proud to say that 90% of our first cohort is in full-time employment, and most of those students were in employment prior to their bachelor's graduation. 43% of our second cohort is also in full-time employment, and all of that percentage came before they graduated with their BA degree. Work study on campus is available to about 85% of our student population. We usually see students take a work study for anywhere between 3 months to a full year. And it ranges from tasks such as being at the front desk and making sure that we're ready for visitors, to being a teaching assistant or a summer advisor. And new this year, we also have resident advisors. Additionally, we offer a number of internship opportunities, and this is nestled between the Associate of Arts degree and the bachelor's degree. Or we look at it happening, especially if employers are looking to hire people but want to test them out through an internship, at about 90 competencies through the bachelor's degree. So that's over 3/4 of the way through the full bachelor's degree. And we do this kind of through 3 cycles. We have the online content, which is really our partnership with College for America, when we are asking students to work through the College for America platform, the same as anybody in the United States would do. We have in-person learning, so this is supported with a number of different Kepler course facilitators. All of our course facilitators are from the region. We have all course facilitators from Rwanda, except for we have one Ugandan and one Congolese. And then we support that also with our workplace training and making sure that students are learning what is expected of them in the workplace prior to graduation. This is one of our students, Carolyn, with his Southern New Hampshire degree when he earned his Associate of Arts degree. He actually has already finished his bachelor's degree at this time and is another great staff member at Kepler. Now, Lauren.
Okay, so we think that there are 2 things about Kepler's program that really make it special and really kind of help to support the work that students are doing with CFA. The first is kind of our model of scaffolded academic support that we provide to students as they move throughout the Kepler program. So when you think of a traditional college, I think a lot of times you think of the intro lecture halls at the beginning of your first year, right? And there might be an intro to psychology course that has 200 students, depending on where you go to school, right? Then as you get older, your classes get smaller and you get more professor attention. So we kind of flip that on its head at Kepler. And we start out with our foundational year, where we have 4 courses that are really designed to give students the skills that they need to succeed in College for America's curriculum, as well as in any other curriculum or any other academic pursuit they might want to take on later in their life. So we have them in fairly small cohorts where they're working with the same group of about 25 students, 25 to 50 depending on the course, throughout the entire year with the same course facilitators. And those classes are a critical thinking, methods of thinking for business course, basic communication skills, basic technology skills, and then also professional competencies, which could include anything from how do you work with a team, to how do you solve conflicts, even to things like how do you know yourself and know your strengths and weaknesses and really be able to communicate those to the people around you that you work with. Then as students move on, they move into more specialized classes where they're really working on things that are more specific to the work that they'll go into and more specific to their degree program. This could be something like a QuickBooks course where they're learning for 4 weeks about how to use QuickBooks in the workplace. It could be something along the lines of what Steve was talking about earlier, really making sure that students understand the difference between the healthcare system in Rwanda versus the healthcare system they're learning about on College for America. And those are smaller classes that students opt into as they move through the program. Then last, we really focus on that career placement and thinking of helping students to be able to connect what they've learned in the classroom to what they're learning, what they'll be learning in the workplace, and to really think of themselves as lifelong learners. We don't want our students to leave Kepler and be done learning, right? We want them to be able to move on and be able to adapt as the workplace develops. They might not be able to afford more formal education, but they can certainly go on and continue to learn and continue to become better employees and better thinkers. And College for America starts generally sometime in the foundational year, so in that first year that students enter Kepler. And we really think about using project-based assessments to help the course facilitators like Tujiza and our other course facilitators figure out when students are ready to be involved in College for America. So when can they write a basic paragraph and essay? When are they able to really read a resource and understand what it means and be able to use that to process it? And in addition to things like when can they type fast enough to make it worthwhile to write a paper on a computer versus by hand. And then I think the second part about Kepler is we really focus on supporting the entire student. So we know that our students really have a lot going on in their lives, and you'll hear more about that from Tujiza in a minute. But we want to make sure that we're supporting them in terms of anything from making sure they have lunch on campus and that they're provided with enough food, to the fact that we want to make sure they are able to pay for their education and understand what it means to take out a loan, or understand what it means to really be a person going into the workplace and have a family that you need to support. How do you do that? How do you manage your finances and your budget? Carolyn, I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to add here, but you can kind of just see a general snapshot. We also have a counselor on campus. Students have healthcare provided. We have a healthcare practitioner on campus who can help students when they're feeling sick. And we have English remediation, study halls, career services, pretty much most things that a university has, but at a much smaller scale. I'm going to turn it over to our main speaker of the day, who is Tujiza, our alumni. So Tujiza, come on up.
Hello. This is the first time I've talked to this many people, students, so please bear with me if I get a little bit nervous. Okay, so I was born in Rwanda, and then I lived in Kenya as a refugee, and then came back to Rwanda again for my Bachelor's of Communication. And currently I am, as I said, a proud Southern New Hampshire University alumni. And right now I'm here in New Hampshire, which is very strange. And it's amazing. And all of this thanks to the fact that I got to experience Kepler and Southern New Hampshire, and that I hold as a Southern New Hampshire degree. And maybe I should tell you a little bit of my story. So in Rwanda, it's like summer all year long. The leaves are green throughout, right? But like the leaves here, you can see they change color all the time. My life has changed differently, ups and downs, and this is because I was through the Kepler program, and it was quite different from what happens into local university. So when I was young, I used to think that I was gonna be this big, important person in the world, and that even though my family couldn't support that, the financial status was really, really bad. And even though our community in Rwanda favors boys over girls, where you find that only 9% of girls can graduate from college, and we are all expected to get married after high school, right? So I knew that there were so many challenges that would stop me from reaching my goals, but I also knew that my education would be the way through there. And not just any type of education, an international high-level education, because locally, I wasn't really going to fall for that. So I started applying for scholarships. I got dropped so many times. I kept on trying because I knew my life was depending on that. And finally, I got a scholarship to Kepler. Trust me, I didn't think twice to drop the governmental scholarship I had received for engineering. I went to Kepler. I was like, okay, I'm going to Kepler. And what if they don't like me? Oh, I don't care. I'll just go. So I went there with the fear that they're not going to like my pace of work, the fact that I wasn't exposed to this international level of learning and all that stuff, but I was willing to try. When I got to Kepler, I learned two things. Kepler was different. Kepler was hard. Different how? If I was to go to a local university, the experience would be me going to class, the teacher talking at me taking notes every single day, 2 to 3 months down the way, I take a test, an exam, I can plagiarize if I want, no one will care, and then that's the year goes, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, I get to write a book, I can plagiarize the book again if I want to, and then afterwards I sit for a panel and boom, my degree, done. No struggle, very clear and simple process. But Kepler, it wasn't like that. I had to work. I had to sleep at 3 a.m. and wake up at 5 a.m. Very crazy. I had to collaborate with others, which is not a culture we learn in our local university. You learn alone. That's the only way you can progress through everything alone. But Kepler was different. You had to collaborate. And that is where the hard part came in. So you had these expectations you had to meet as a Kepler courses and also CFA. So you had to progress through your degree, you had to work on your professional competency class, you had to present, work with peers, paraphrase, which was a new experience for me. And one most important skill, do not plagiarize. If you plagiarize, you have to meet with Carolyn, who was really tough and scary at the time. And you also had to deal with Christina, which was not a really good thing. And your life was on the line. So no plagiarism. So I went through the degree, I learned so many skills, and I also learned how to present. If you have seen me 5 years ago and said hi to me, I would run and hide behind here. And that's actually my tendency right now, but I'm trying to be a student right now. So I learned all these different skills, and I had to combine them with different things, such as I said, CFA, with Kepler courses, with work studies. And I was like, really? Am I doing all of this? Sometimes I thought I was dreaming. So I wake up in the morning, I'll do my Kepler classes for 5 hours, I'll do CFA for 5 hours, I will go to work study and combine that with CFA every single day. And then I knew that if I don't learn additional skills, such as additional writing skills, maybe type some more to get the threshold of 50 words per minute, I might fail. So I kept on doing that. And I'm happy to say that it was worth it. The stress was worth it. So when I was staying in DC a couple of days ago, I met with a person, and he said that the motto here is live free or die. And it's quite fascinating that even though I've lived in different circumstances and I've been through many changes, that's my motto. I've always believed in that. And currently I am, as I said,